Hi Scorpio, this is your March 2023 reading using the tarot. Let's get right into it. The beginning of the month, I have the Four of Coins in reverse. So this talks about some sort of a setback at the beginning of the month or a hope for something to have turned out in a different way. Now, things are not lost, right? You still have managed to do really well on something. It isn't quite what you had in mind, but there is a sense of realistic kind of expectations here. With the Four of Coins upright, we see kind of like a sense of holding on or trying to control. With the reversal, it's more about acceptance, which is just a nicer state to be in. You probably had your hopes high for something and it didn't quite amount to what you were wishing or what had been had been planned for a long time. So that's okay. We'll go deeper and figure out what that really was, what was happening there, and perhaps why that was that outcome for you. But up until around the 8th, 9th and 10th of the month, it was a little touch and go. It was possible that something was going to happen. Then there was always a risk involved. And once the outcome manifested for you at the beginning of the month, you kind of have just settled on it now. So that represents an end to fear and worry. The Ten of Swords is the card for the present moment. Now, the Ten of Swords can often feel like, oh no, dread. But for me, this is looking like the sum of all fears, facing them, being in a situation where currently, and perhaps up until around the 20th, 21st of the month, when the sun leaves Pisces and moves into Aries, you're kind of seeing what would be the worst case scenario. And I really hope that doesn't throw you off, because it's extremely liberating. It doesn't seem to amount to what you were expecting. It doesn't, again, like when we have high hopes for something and that can sometimes fall a little flat or not meet the hope. It's okay, there's acceptance there. When we have kind of worst case scenario fears for something and then it doesn't meet that fear, or the quality is not as intense or scary or drastic, then that's more than acceptance. I feel like that's a huge relief for you. So you have to see the balance in that, and the kind of, that when things don't go as good as you hope, that's as good, and if not better, it is when things don't actually go as bad as you dread, right? So you're kind of learning then, I suppose, how to just be a bit more accepting and how to just remain focused on the easygoing things in your life, the day by day, the relationships that are seamless. There shouldn't be too much resistance, and that's what I'm seeing with the Ten of Swords, that currently you're in a breakthrough, you're in a critical turning point. For some, maybe this is a bit more drastic, where it's now or never, the stakes are high, and you kind of are getting the sensation that I'm about to meet the sort of sum of all fears, and there's a bravery there with that. At the bottom of the deck, I do have the Three of Coins and the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is very courageous and very agile, very adaptive. And the Three of Coins is talking about people that are around you that will not exactly pick up the pieces. There's not like a savior sort of thing here. It's just that it's not going to be that bad. If the Ten of Swords is something that currently you find yourself really high strung over right now. So the Five of Cups, Mars and Scorpio towards the end of the month. Now, the Five of Cups can be a sense of being sold something like a pipe dream and believing that somebody was going to deliver on something, or maybe it was even yourself. You were expecting to deliver on something that maybe you aren't able to keep that promise. And let's get into this a little bit deeper, okay? It wouldn't be the shift from Pisces season into Aries season unless we were, in a sense, facing our greatest fear. Aries is extremely brave. Pisces is extremely accepting and ready and willing to surrender. So when you kind of combine those two edges towards like the 20th, 21st, 19th, 20th, 21st of the month, it's kind of like an unstoppable force. Acceptance is really important. The Queen of Coins is Cardinal Earth Capricorn. We also have Capricorn with the Four of Coins in reverse. Dealing with a Capricorn or a Taurus or a Virgo, the earth signs coming through. Dealing with people that relate to work, money, and structure and building and schedule and those practical matters. It could be a month for around that. Let's look at the Four of Coins in reverse, and this is kind of an energy I sense that's already passed, so you may know what this is already about. I have the Queen of Wands, but they are reversed, and I have the Three of Cups. So there's a sort of feminine energy that's rubbing you up the wrong way, I think. Maybe it's a maternal energy, maybe it's a sister. The Three of Cups can talk about sisters and friends, chosen family or otherwise, or biological. But there's somebody here that is kind of triggering you, and this person just wants you to, I think, step into your authenticity and confidence more and more and more. The Three of Cups, though, can be a little bit like you could get frustrated with them because they're expecting something of you that you don't really see them doing themselves. So it's almost hypocritical. And it's like, well, maybe you should start with yourself, I hear you saying. And yeah, that's an intense clash of heads. So there is something that, you know, the Queen of Wands really speaks to self-confidence and just like owning it and like, you know, true confidence, no room for doubt and self-doubt here. But in the reversal with the Four of Coins in reverse, it's like, this didn't really hit the target. And you already know what I'm talking about. It didn't hit your target, and that depletes your confidence. The Three of Cups, though, this is the enjoyment. The Page of Cups at the bottom of the deck, the Ace of Cups right beside that, the Magician, and the Ace of Pentacles. You know, targets are very, you know, I'm trying to say targets aren't important. Of course they are. That's really not what I'm trying to say, and I'm trying to find the words. What about the joy, the pleasure, the fun, the creation? That is what really sets the soul alive, at least. Okay, so the ego will be more concerned with targets, right? And that's good because the soul wants to evolve. The ego has to create experiences in order for the soul to evolve through. So they're working hand in hand. We just want to get the balance right. So there's a level of acceptance that you've made already about not reaching a target, and for whatever reason this is triggering some sort of a wounding in your maybe divine feminine, right? That there's an unworthiness there or a lack of deserving there. That's a wounded divine feminine energy. Or maybe you are surrounded by, would you be surrounded by people that are also like, yeah, like I didn't do good, like kind of moaning? That's what I'm picking up on, like, and it's just like a little bit draining, you know? And maybe that's where that kind of sort of hypocritical sense I'm getting is like, you're like, well, yeah, but you didn't even really try. So I don't know, there's an ego trip here perhaps, but the Queen, or the Three of Cups and the Page of Cups and the Ace of Cups, Magician, and the Ace of Pentacles, opportunity is just around the corner, okay? You will be creating, like this is Dali here, his self-portrait on the Magician card in the Salvador Dali deck. You'll create your masterpiece, the perfect business model, the perfect work of art, the perfect family dynamics, the perfect balance in your personal and professional life. You will nail it, and opportunities are not running dry. So that might not have been the target, but that's okay. There is not a short, the tap hasn't just like stopped running. The more is coming, okay? More is coming, so it's okay. Just enjoy yourself. Enjoy the fun, the creation, the connection, the sense of belonging. Socialize, get out and about and meet with people. Be inspired and inspire others. Scorpio, I see you needing a little bit of fun, okay? So and maybe you have just had a big bout of fun, because this is a past energy overall. I mean, well, at least the Three of Cups is. So maybe you have let your hair down. The Page of Cups is like more opportunities to do what you wished that you could have done when you were a child is coming up too, because I always see the Page of Cups as like an inner child. I also see the Page of Cups as a surprise, a pleasant one. So maybe you hear from a friend or a family member and they're like, hey, do you want to go do this fun thing? I think you would really like it. And you're like, yeah, let's do it. Okay, so be a little more silly. Like, I don't know what that was. So maybe a little bit more goofiness, silliness. Try not to take it all so seriously. And that's the beauty about Pisces season. As deep as it is, it's not like the cosmic joke is apparent at that point as well. Okay, the Ten of Swords. While we're speaking of jokes, trying to lighten the mood here with the Ten of Swords and the Five of Cups. Let's see what's going on with the Ten of Swords. This is your present energy, and we're going to see about how serious that is right now. Okay, the Four of Cups. And the Empress. So it's emotional, but there's a beauty in it. Of course, you know, Pisces season, it's emotional, it's tragic, but it's beautiful. Yeah, like Pisces is a very mutable sign, and it's mutable water. Water is concerned with emotion. So Pisces is comfortable with being heartbroken and full of excitement at the same time. Like they're comfortable with the merging and blending of emotions. And so that's just your fixation on something that you really wanted. Well, at least your ego really wanted. You know, maybe it was soulful too, but that didn't meet the mark. But I bet there was something really enjoyable still. I see you having a great time recently, Scorpio. I truly hope you are. Like, you're like in heaven, right? In something you're like, this is my idea of paradise. Like, this is my idea of a good ass time. Good for you. That's what I'm seeing. So let's have a look then at the Ten of Swords and the Four of Cups. I mean, this is what you're thinking, like, oh God, I hope this doesn't happen. I hope this doesn't happen. And then it doesn't happen. And that's when the Empress is just like, oh yeah, I made it through. I came out the other side of that scotch-free. Scotch-free? 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 Scotch-free. So the Ten of Swords is about the turning point you're at. This like sulking. Yeah, didn't I say earlier someone was moaning, someone was complaining and sulking? Like, no. Try and remind people, much less yourself, about how blessed they are. It's that old adage, like people who complain always have something to complain about. Woe is me. It's a victim mindset. It's just also, it's a loop of, it's like a loop that keeps going round and round, and it's hard to get out of the Four of Cups. One thing that will knock you out of your Four of Cups, apathy or a sort of blues. The Ten of Swords, you're like, oh, when something actually happens, I can tell that all my sulking really was, you know, a little bit redundant. But the Empress, pure gratitude, pure appreciation, and grateful people always have something to be grateful for, be it a tree. Like I literally was, I was in Central Park today, and I needed to charge my body with electrons because it's like beautiful outside today, albeit cold, but it snowed all day yesterday, this little pussy snow that didn't stick, and there was just like all this, like, it was just like kind of miserable weather, and I was like, okay, need to charge my electrons, need to put my foot on a tree or like my head on a tree. And I heard somebody say on the phone, no, she literally has her head stuck against the tree. I don't give a shit. But I was like laughing. I'm like, sounds like you need to stick your head against a tree, honey. So maybe that's what it is. Like people who are grateful about, and I'm trying to remind myself, like, be grateful for this tree, like really soak it in. Like this is making you feel better. Not making me like manically happy, obviously, but making me feel just content. So try to remind these people that are moaning around you. Maybe you live with someone who's moaning, maybe your family, maybe you're just like hearing people at work and it's constantly the drama. And this is a little bit of drama, you know, Queen of Wands in reverse and the Three of Cups. This is like, once there's a couple of glasses of wine out, people start unloading and, you know, people's like the office gossip starts and you're just like, stop. Try and remind these people that are crunched over, like really upset, that like you have so much to be grateful for, please. Okay, and if that's you, check yourself, because you have so many blessings. And we saw those Ace of Cups, we saw the Ace of Pentacles. The tap isn't running dry, it's going to continue to flow, it's going to actually like overflow at some point. So don't worry. If you've seen a target wasn't reached and you have to reach a level of acceptance on that, okay, aren't you fine? That can also happen to things that you really don't want to happen. They can also work out in ways you didn't expect. So remember that, and remember to practice gratitude. This slump won't last forever. And if it's people around you, which for some I'm really sensing it is, tell them, you know, you don't have to be like, remind yourself to be grateful. Like, just be like, isn't it so great that you have this? And like, just try and remind them, like, it's not your responsibility either, but if you have to deal with this all the time, it's just a suggestion basically. So we do have the Four of Cups mid-month right now. Then we have the Five of Cups as an upcoming energy. So we're moving on, right? Like I'd actually rather, speaking like a Pisces, I'd actually rather be disappointed and hurt than numb. And so, I mean, that's what we're moving on from. We're moving on from a numbness to a greater sense of feeling like an alive human being. The Empress, you've got big blessings right now in your life, Scorpio. Never doubt that, because I know you know it. The Five of Cups. The Two of Swords. The Seven of Swords. You at the bottom of the deck with the Death card, with the Page of Coins, with the Six of Wands. Okay, so I'll first just talk about, this may not have been like totally apparent to you yet. I actually don't think it is. I think that the next thing you say, your next expression, your next conversation, your next piece of information that you share, that's the success. That's when things change for you, transform into a more victorious like bullseye, okay? Hasn't happened yet, and maybe it's not even this month. It could be later on, April, May, who knows? For now, let me just focus on the rest of this reading and getting into the end of March for you. So there is a sort of the Two of Swords and the Seven of Swords. You don't want to talk about your feelings. You don't want to talk about it. You just feel let down. You feel like this person, this promise, this hope or dream didn't fully deliver. And you're like, why did that not happen? The Two of Swords and the Seven of Swords, to me, it's because there was too much hesitation on someone's end, be it your end. There was too much like there was too much resistance. Again, it's that overthinking and blocking your own intuition. The Two of Swords is standoffish. The Seven of Swords is a plan that was not considered well enough. So somebody hesitated. Was it you? Was it them? And for that reason, it's maybe completely out of your control, Scorpio. By the end of the month, it's not exactly how you imagined it to be. You wish you won more. You wish you wish something. But we have a major arcana card, the one and only of the reading, and the Empress. Like, you really shouldn't want anything more than this. And that's it, want, right? You already have everything and more. That's you're so blessed. And I don't know, I don't want to sound like I'm lecturing you at all, because I know, well, I sense at least that the Death card hasn't happened yet, and the target, the bullseye, isn't yet reached, but it's not going to be long for you. and count your blessings. Stay blessed. Stay in a frequency of like that heart just being like tuning out the office gossip, the gossip and bitching in general, and all that crap, honestly, and like that's draining for you. We have the Three of Cups. Yeah, it starts kind of fun. It starts like with a bit of a giggle and a few drinks or whatever. I just see this as like a party scene, and like then it's like the Four of Cups. We have the Three of Cups, the Four of Cups, the Five of Cups. Then we're like, we feel lower about it. And it's not like venting, it's gossip. Like, it's not venting where you feel relieved after. You feel like a little shitty. And it might not even be you that's doing this. In fact, I feel like it's somebody else as the instigator, the Queen of Wands in reverse, and you'll know who this person is. They're insecure. The Five of Cups, then it leads to where it's like, okay, I actually prefer this, but it's the engagement with somebody who's not really, who is insecure, let's say, that kind of just brings around more problems for you or something like that. Anyway, Scorpio, Empress card is saying, right now, I know that you can count so many reasons to feel blessed. If this sounds like it was anything to do with the relationship reading, or you're curious to learn about what's going on with you in terms of relationships, I will link an exclusive relationship reading, which is on my Patreon below. And in the meantime, I'd really appreciate if you would subscribe to this channel to help it grow. Take care and see you soon.